All right, that's enough of preamble. Goodness, I'm just gonna roll this.
Okay, kids, let's go.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
We are connected to your Wi-Fi. We are downloading all of your porn.
I am installing porn on your computer.
We are trading porn.
I'm going backwards.
You guys are
Going to the
so
other way.
funny.
Hello.
Big chicken.
Talk about my chicken.
Thanks C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Tell me when we have
Hello
chicken.
Looking. Found
Wood
someone you
handling.
haven't
We are handling. You're a big chicken in the back.
Fry the chicken.
Force be with us.
Finger licking. Guitar picking. That's about as much as I can do.
That's fine with me. Good day, Galaxy.
What up, everybody?
What's going on? Good to be with you.
Just the usual shit, nothing much. Forgot my headphones today.
Headphoneless.
Massive blunder, so we're recording without them. And I've left myself a note to bring an extra pair and just leave them here just so nothing happens.
Can order them.
Well, I have 4 extra pairs. They're just in my road case for other recording purposes. So I just need to bring an extra pair. But we're experienced enough, we don't need headphones.
Yeah.
Just don't talk like this like you used to do. Or accidentally switch and start talking out of your liquid death can instead of your beer, instead of your microphone. How are you doing, Mopar?
I'm good, man. Rainy day. It has been a rainy day, but I do have quite a few podcast points.
And of course, Mando.
Yeah, Mando episode 4. Yeah. We're already up to 4, man.
It didn't do anything that we thought it was going to do.
Yeah,
Whether for good or ill, we'll talk.
I'm giving it space. That's all I'm going to say as a ramp up.
How many seasons of space shall we give it?
Yeah, well, it does happen in it, in space.
So old.
I'm so old. Yeah, we do have a fun draft. I'm going to choose it. We're going with the Jedi draft.
I like it.
I think this is going to end our relationship and our friendship.
Well, I got someone new to pick, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited because this is a good one because there's plenty to choose from. And even if you steal a couple of mine, I feel like I have quite a few fallbacks. So
there's plenty of options.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. So we're going to do just a top 5.
And there's a couple sneaky, where do you draw the line?
And I don't want to put any rules around it.
Yeah.
I just want to just as long as they are a Jedi, that's fine. We can do however many we want. 5, I guess.
60.
We can do that.
Yeah, no, 5. I like 3, but we've been doing 5, so it's
5's like a general draft. Yeah. Right. We'll stick with 5. So, do you want to just do the draft off the top?
I don't know, man.
We'll get launched into it. Let me take a quick peek at my.
Well, have you been playing Pokemon?
I haven't. I actually so that is an update. I just bought Scarlet.
Oh, you did end up getting the new one?
Yeah.
I started the Let's Go series.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, I wanted something new. And for how perturbed I'm going to be catching a Corolla, that it's fine, honestly.
I got a Dodge Ram on.
But it is whatever. Whatever.
It's not.
So I did buy that for the Switch, and I'm excited just to find random shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were talking when we were doing our draft, Lugia is the only newer, and that's literally Gen 2.
Right.
And there's 7 gens now. So
it is at least new stuff. I won't knock you for getting a new experience.
Yeah.
And
it's open world.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm excited just to experience that. So I bought that. I bought another charger for my Switch now that I'm using the dock. So I have one that I can kind of bring with me so I don't have to disassemble my dock. And then
can you just plug in a USB-C and charge it?
It is a USB-C, but you don't know how the wattage.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with it. It was only $20, so I was like, fuck, I'll just buy another charger. But I was walking through Best Buy, which is a fucking borderline wasteland at this point.
Dude.
It's terrible to walk into.
Isn't it weird?
But I was walking past the DVD section.
They still have a DVD section?
And that's why I texted you guys. I was like, guys, first of all, I didn't know these 2 DVDs were a thing. One of them, one of them. Didn't you see the text I texted you guys?
Remind me.
I
send a
said
lot of
I
texts.
bought guys. I swung the dice. I rolled the dice on some ancient technology,
Swung the dick on this
and
old
one of
shit.
them was the
Oh,
ultra
those are Blu-rays.
ultra
Sorry, you
Blu-ray
confused
of
me.
I'm sorry, ultra Blu-ray of Dune,
Yeah.
and then the Snyder cut.
I'm with that. I
The fucking
support it.
Snyder cut.
I
didn't
support
even.
it, dude.
I seriously did not know they were making physical copies of the Snyder cut.
I've been way behind on my collections of vinyl and of Blu-rays, but even though I buy everything digital, I'll definitely get collector version vinyls or Blu-rays for certain things. Like
Yeah.
Star Wars, obviously, you know what I mean? I got Dark Knight, Interstellar. Those are the ones I always mention.
Yeah,
But Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, there's some specials.
I feel like Dune.
Dune's in that list. I'll put it in that list.
You haven't even seen the new
I know,
Dune
but
yet.
I'll put it in
Yeah.
that list.
Oh, yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, it's up there with. It's along the same vibe as Interstellar. Like it's such like a space-driven thing, but it's more of a realistic, very, very realistic, which is crazy
Well, I thought
because.
that's what Interstellar was. It was about physics and shit.
But yeah, I feel like it stays along the scientific vein. Like nothing. It may be out there at the end, but the possibility is there to our knowledge. Like that potentially could happen.
Interesting.
And I feel like, I'm excited to watch it all the way through too. Well, the saving grace is we still have my old Xbox, and then her Xbox still plays DVDs. So
Yeah.
even though my new one, I had to set up a separate system just to fucking play stuff. But that's fine with me.
Yeah, I hadn't really considered that, but that is my collection is literally for collector purposes only because I have no way of playing them.
Well, the other thing is there's DVDs or at least physical copies of stuff that I can't find, like Out Cold.
Yeah.
I can't find it digitally, or I think I can, but it's still like
Yeah,
$20, and I'm
that's
like, you know
true.
what? I don't really feel like spending $20.
You know,
on
I
Out Cold.
found an app actually where you can set a wish list on like the Apple movie library.
Yeah.
And it'll alert you when they go on sale.
Well, don't you
So
have?
which I started doing.
Don't you have the
What?
Movies app, the Movies Anywhere app?
No, because the Blu-rays that I got that had like a digital version, I saved them onto Apple TV, not that.
Oh yeah, I downloaded it on there. So all the things that I've been buying on my Xbox are automatically streamed through this app on my phone.
Yeah.
So I've got quite the fucking list going now.
Movies anywhere, baby. Yeah, I just
Not
went with Apple.
100%,
I'm an
not
Apple-
100% of them
I'm an Apple
transfer.
fuckboy, you know.
Not 100% transfer, so I don't
Yeah, you
want to
gotta pick.
guarantee.
Actually,
No. It's literally all of them are there, but there are exclusive things. I think that if you buy it on Xbox, it's only on Xbox.
Well, no, I mean like when I bought the like the Steelbook for Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, it'll come with a digital.
It's like you get a digital code, and do you want to get it on this app or you want to get it
Oh,
on
okay.
Apple? So I
gotcha.
just got it on Apple.
yeah,
So, it is what it is.
yeah.
Do you watch Succession?
I haven't yet.
Succession began last night.
That
Season
might-
4.
That might be one I'm gonna just hold off on.
Just binge it.
Yeah, because it's just I'm excited for it, but it's too heavy not to be like now I gotta wait a fucking week.
Yeah, dude.
It's up there with Game of Thrones, where it's like it's not worth not binging. You have to have the next episode.
See, I'm gonna watch them all, and then right before the finale comes out, I'll binge all of them.
I guarantee you, I'll put money down that you won't do that.
I know I won't,
just
but I'll
letting-
talk about it.
I'm gonna say these things.
Well, that's how I feel about it. So maybe like 3 months after it's over, I'll go back and watch them all again.
Yeah.
But I do have that feeling about it. It's one of my favorite shows. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You can't expect anything less. It's a great show.
You know, it's another series that I wouldn't mind owning. Well, Breaking Bad's an obvious one. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
keep
would want
wanting
to
to
own
watch
it though,
that.
because it's kind of made for TV. But Lost, because
Yeah,
it
we've
does
talked
have,
about that. I've
it
still
does
never seen it.
at this point. It sounds weird because it is one of the most interesting, but it's like so
It's
lackluster
like a
at the
Bermuda
end.
Triangle kind of fucking story,
Yeah.
isn't it?
None of it, like literally entire seasons, don't make sense and they don't explain it. They're like, fuck it. But that's kind of the fun thing about it. It's kind of a weird vibe.
I already got too many things that are already on my list that I haven't watched. I can't add more things to
I
it.
will say it's pretty easy to watch, and that might be the reason I would like to own it. That way I could just binge through an entire season and skip through. But it does kind of do the classic with the music, and then it goes into a commercial break.
Love it.
So and then it comes back out and repeats the last like 2 seconds of that.
Oh yeah.
You know, that
I hate
classical-
when they don't fix that when they put it on DVD or whatever or
yeah.
streaming. Yeah, that's annoying.
But
I hate that stuff. Yeah, that's weird. There was like a big overlap there where I think we watched Breaking Bad exclusively on Netflix, so we were like a year behind. But it was obviously was coming out on AMC at the time, so it was cut for cable. So there was
Have
some
they
weird
fixed that
overlap.
since?
I don't know. I haven't watched it since. I just mean compare that to like Succession, which is obviously like HBO native, so it's just one episode with no bullshit.
Well, and maybe that's why I thought the Snyder Cut was not physical, because it's like an HBO exclusive. So I thought for sure they would be like, no, if you want to watch Snyder Cut, you have to get HBO Go.
Well, Warner Bros. Owns HBO, so they kind of just do whatever they want.
What?
Yes.
Warner Brothers owns HBO?
Yeah, that's why all the DC movies are available on HBO.
That makes complete
like,
sense.
Instantly. Like the Batman was out like a month after the movie came out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's a movie update.
I watched Jackass 4.5.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
it's ridiculous.
To be honest,
that they keep doing it.
What
What do you think about food? What do you? Jesus fucking Christ!
you had a little disaster right there. What do you think for the poof?
I haven't had one of those in a while, dude. Man Murphy used to do that. Butterclun used to do that all the time. It would crack me up. Oh my god! You just get too hyped and you can't spit the words out fast enough.
Words are coming out.
I might as well have just screamed and wrote a note to you and passed it to you instead. What do you think of them with the new cast and like introducing the new young blood?
It's a little bit of an uphill climb, but I'm actually very, very okay with it because watching the old dudes do it is getting a little old.
Yeah. Except for
they-
Knoxville, I guess.
Yeah, Knoxville, but he looks ancient.
Yeah. He's also the ringleader, so he doesn't have to do all the crazy stuff.
Well,
he always does one insane thing.
He's
like
the ringleader
bowl or
now.
whatever. Yeah.
I always felt like Bam was the ringleader. He was the
Knoxville
idea
was
man.
always the ringleader.
No. Well, movie-wise, maybe, but I'm talking about production, coming up with the skits. Bam would write skits on a piece of paper and be like, all right,
Yeah.
bungee cord, fat guy, little dude, jump, like, and have an arrow. And he's like, okay, we're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
What I'll say, what went through my mind, because I was trying to wrap my head around the younger guys, and I'm okay with them. There really is no hate towards them. In my mind, I thought maybe Jackass will no longer be a set of dudes, but an ongoing revolving door of jackasses, and it's gonna be like a series more of, and they'll bring in new guys after this next group is old. It'll literally just be like Pokemon,
Yeah.
like the next.
But hopefully the new ones don't suck as bad
Yeah,
as Pokemon ones.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they were going to end it with the original crew, then 3 would have been the last one. But now they've gone ahead and made like all the bad grandpa stuff, and now they made 4.
But 4 is okay because I do feel like it was a transition one
Totally.
with the new group. But,
yeah. So they've got some new cast members. Now they just need to find the next director.
what's is the 0.5 ones? Is that the B sides, like the stuff that didn't make the actual
all
movie?
like the deleted scene.
I'm
kinda
not
stuff.
gonna lie. I liked 4.5 better than I did 4.
It's the most extreme stuff, probably. that they
I
had to
thought
cut
it
out.
was the most extreme and or the simpler stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
'cause-
doesn't always have to be fucking drinking horse jizz and,
Well,
and you're like,
To be fair, I feel like they do have a good balance of like, we're just gonna stun gun you and it's gonna be funny, versus we're gonna launch a porta potty off these 2
Yeah.
giant fucking
yeah.
cranes.
It doesn't have to be a stunt the whole time, you know, like a.
yeah.
But they did sprinkle in. So one of my favorite things across all CKY and Jackass is it'll be a huge stunt and then it'll be a 2-second
Yep.
fart.
They just slap
and then
someone with a fish.
and then they'll go into the next stunt and you're like, dude, this is.
Yes, that little quick fade to black is nice.
And then just a shit goes 100 miles an hour and then you're like, all right, next.
Dude, I thought one of the funniest things, I'm recalling, I think the funniest thing for me was the new cast member's dad who was in prison
Oh,
with the freaking plastic cage and the spider that was like crawling in between the 2 people. Like him and one of the other guys had like the diver helmets on, and there was a tube and
Yeah.
there was like a tarantula or a scorpion or something.
that was in the not 4.5. That was in 4.
yeah,
right?
yeah. But still, that his dad making an
The
appearance.
dad
was, so
was
funny.
hilarious when they put him in that room with the bear and he like tried to hide. He just hid in the corner behind nothing.
Dude, how do they get away with?
Where do they get a bear?
How do they know? How are they confident enough that the bear is not going to slice them?
Right. What if something happens?
Whatever happened to Manny, dude? He was one of my favorites from Wild Boys.
Probably got a job.
How could you get a better job than Jackass?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, we got fired.
Oh,
Oh, the
man.
bear mauled somebody. Manny, that was on you. What
So
am I
funny.
supposed to do?
So
I
funny.
said no, don't do it. Oh shit. No, that's and it touches such like a retro growing up vibe.
Oh,
that
yeah.
all those CKY
They're still
things,
crushing it.
we don't have to. I am very happy that it feels like it stays fresh. And maybe part of it's the new crew, maybe part of it's like the pranks are always fun to watch. I mean, you're
Yep.
doing stupid shit, so I will say some
Don't
of the
say it.
stuff when it's old man butts and dicks and dancing, and I'm like, the surprise is there, but it started getting cringe. Do you remember the one where
Too many scrotums.
Knoxville is wheeled up by the random dude, and then there's like a party of old dudes that come out. They're all naked. Oh no! He pulls the fire alarm.
Oh, yes.
And he blames the fire alarm pull, but it's just like dicks everywhere, and it's like, yeah, it's funny.
We were like, why is that dick so small? Oh my God, why is that dick so huge?
It's all, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's how they started. So
Look,
shopping carts
I'm not
and
mad
dicks.
at it, but the fact that it took
Shopping carts and dicks, man.
the fact that I had to stare at old man dicks for like over 5 minutes because the skit
Yeah,
wouldn't
it was
end.
it was a lengthy skit.
They're like, no, look at the dicks from this angle now. I'm like,
Yes,
okay.
Now check it from HD, 4K. Now you got to do it in 3D.
I low key like half expect them to like have a weird camera angle on the guy they're pranking and then zoom out and there's just like a schlong right in the fucking camera. like just-
Well, we're putting in applications to Lucasfilm. May as well put your application into.
yeah.
Who owns Jackass now? Is it
Who does
MTV?
who does dong shots? Like headshots?
Dongshots.org.
Okay.
Someone save that domain name.
Dong shots.
We'll redirect the podcast to dongshots.org.
So this is this is gonna be a jump. This is a random one that kind of pissed me off, and I feel like it's worth talking about.
Are we drafting, or you got something else to?
No, we'll be drafting right after this, and then we'll get into Mando. Oh, and I do have Acolyte news.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only talked about the release dates. We haven't really talked about what it's truly going to be about.
Well, there hasn't been a trailer or anything yet. So
I have a
right?
kind of a breakdown of what it's going to be about.
Yeah,
so
baby.
up and coming. So the random thing that pissed me off today, I was listening to Rover's Morning Glory. Shout out to them. It's the local radio station. But honestly, one of the best morning shows I've ever listened to. Yeah. But their Shizzy, which is their news thing, they were talking about a horse dying
Shizzy.
on the Lord of the Rings show.
Oh,
And
the
now
Amazon show?
Yeah. And now PETA wants to ban all horses for all filming purposes. And it's like, guys,
Yeah, that's how they talk
fucking
about everything.
pisses me off. Like it was an accident. There was 40 horses on set because I mean, it's a fucking horse army.
Yeah.
Probably riding
No,
in
fucking
horseback.
ostrich walks in the back of the shot and trips, and they're like, no birds and anything.
No
ever.
birds ever. Cancel birds.
Can't eat birds. You can't have birds. You can't own birds.
It's just like, come on. Like, I know what you guys are trying to do, protect animals,
one knows
but
what they're trying
you guys are dumb. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what they're trying
Wasn't
to do.
there like a really good South Park arc about PETA? There has to have been. I'm recalling
anything-
something vaguely from like college timeline.
Yeah. I bet so.
Yeah,
PETA.
man, whatever. They're just
Terrible.
everyone
Terrible
needs-
idea.
Everyone needs to chill, dude.
Terrible idea.
Now, I still haven't watched the Lord of the Rings show.
I haven't finished it.
I never. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was. I picked up the books again. I'm almost done with Fellowship.
Oh, speaking of, you'll be happy. I thought of this last week, and I didn't bring it up because we moved on to something else. I picked up the Footprint of the Gods. Fingerprint.
Oh, yeah.
Fingerprint?
Yeah, Graham Hancock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
baby.
had that book for like a year now.
Be
and I
careful, dude.
finally opened it up.
It's only 1,000 pages long.
I'm into part 2. So I got through all the map stuff that they talk about of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Antarctica and stuff. So
Oh yeah, the Piri Reis map. That was crazy.
yeah, so as just a random, Commander and I love this like lost ancient technology. Where does this come from? And the book it discusses kind of ancient civilizations that maybe were more advanced than we are now. And one of the kind of things that has been trickled throughout history was the map making, where in modern history, Antarctica was discovered in like the early 1800s.
correct.
But they have maps from the 1500s and earlier that show full Antarctica
On the map.
uniced.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, the last time it was uniced was like 5,000 years ago.
Yep.
So what the fuck? And it's accurate.
Yep.
So like, I don't even know what they call it, but the fucking like radar sonogram, whatever dinosaur paleontologist mammogram stuff that they do to the ice
Jurassic
down there.
laser.
But I love that stuff, and I've watched videos on
It's
it.
awesome.
But the map making thing was really cool. The fact that the one of them was like from 1515 or something.
Yeah, the famous one. I think it's called Perry Rees or something.
that
like
sounds
that.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gnarly because apparently people would chart out like certain areas, like certain new areas, but if they were making a map, they would just copy all of the other stuff that was already discovered from previous maps.
Yeah.
So there was a whole series where he kind of had to like research, go back and back through all these maps, see what they were referencing, and keep going back in time until he found this particular one, which was like the oldest one that he could find. And then there was Antarctica, and it was made in like 1550 or something.
Yeah. And actually, there was like 4 other maps that showed pieces of Antarctica.
Right.
And it was, and they were all within like 200 years, and it was like, what?
Yeah.
And they were all on opposite ends. Like one of them was in Peru or some shit, and you're like,
Yep.
how the fuck do these guys and Egypt?
I love it, dude. He's got 3 of those books. So that one came out in like 94. That's how old that book is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then there was another one from like 2005, 2010, something like that. And then he had put another one out like 4 years ago about the Americas. So he has a whole like big chapter on Serpent Mound in Ohio, which is pretty cool.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a history major, so I was a history major in college. So a lot of this stuff I've always loved diving down these rabbit holes. I always think it's kind of funny talking about, and I don't mean any offense here,
I'm offended
but
already, dude.
calling
PETA.
Native Americans Native Americans when you know that there were definitely people before them here. Like when we're talking 5
now
to
we
10,000
know
years.
that there
Well,
were
just
people before
but my
them.
point is, think about the Ice Age. It
Yeah.
covered half of fucking America. I'm sure there weren't there were a couple people left in an ostrich, like you said.
Yeah.
Putting words in your mouth. But
I
it
did
just
claim there was only ostriches left after that.
But like recently they found those footprints in Arizona, New Mexico that were dated 10,000 years ago, and you're like,
Yeah, it keeps going back. and
dude,
back.
before that, we thought that the people were only here like 500 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So very quick summary. So Graham Hancock wrote this first book in '94, just investigating like the pyramids and like these Olmec statues and these crazy like woodwork or stonework in South America and all that. And then he was researching his second book, and then they started discovering more and more evidence about how the Ice Age ended. And they think it's like asteroid impact hit and just like evaporated the entire ice cap and wiped out pretty much everything. It's
Yeah.
like it flooded the world pretty much for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So he was putting all this stuff together, and then all of a sudden they kind of started piecing together this asteroid theory, and they're like, oh, there probably was an ancient civilization, and literally the flood came and wiped everyone out.
Yeah.
And that's why the
So
pyramid,
like the biblical
like,
flood could
Yeah.
be but just a true story.
yeah, and every culture has one of those stories. But so the pyramids are still around, but no one knows what they were used for or how they were built, because the people that built that was like 15 or 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a very deep rabbit hole that I enjoy going down.
Oh, I love it. I love identifying the options of our history. Because at this point, we're like, oh, we know everything. And then you're like, bitch,
No, motherfucker.
footprints from
Dude.
20,000 years ago right here. What are you talking about?
Not until we find the Protheans on Mars.
Which, speaking of all of this, that new movie... Shut the fuck up!
Listen, R2, dude. Seriously.
Listen, R2, we've had conversations about this. Just
Trying
don't
to tell
ever
you.
talk. We put a mic in front of you
Supposed
to
be a producer.
shut up.
You're not a host. Be quiet.
Oh, the new movie, 65 million. I think it's just called 65.
65, yeah. Adam Driver?
Yeah.
Looks awesome. I
Where they
haven't seen it yet.
land on Earth and they realize, oh shit, like there's some serious shit here.
Yeah,
And that, in my head, I thought, oh, that's just the beginning of humans.
pretty much.
Where their technology wasn't
There wasn't any technology.
well, I'm saying when they landed, because humans were the aliens. We landed in these spaceships and shit,
Oh,
and they
I
got
see, I
stuck
see, I see, I
here,
see.
and their laser blasters weren't doing shit to these T-Rexes, and they're like, well,
They had
fuck.
to kind of start from scratch. Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea. I don't know even know if that's what it's about, but that's what ran through my head.
Seems kind of similar. But I love Adam Driver, so yeah, I do want to see that.
Yeah, he's
But
in
again,
Star Wars.
There's quite a long list of things to see. Only other thing on that is I need to finish watching his Netflix show. Graham Hancock has a Netflix show now where he covers all of it. And the craziest thing, I mean, it's all pretty crazy because I love going, it's not even a conspiracy. It's just like weird archaeological, historical rabbit holes.
Unlockings.
But there's pyramids, obviously not as crazy as the Great Pyramid, but there's pyramids all over the world built with crazy precision in the same kind of alignments, crazy like precise measurements, aligned with constellations on every different continent.
Yeah.
So the theory is kind of like someone taught all these people how to build all this shit.
Probably humans.
Humans taught each other.
I love the fact that we like throw other words out, aliens, and it was probably us the whole time. We just it's
definitely.
so long ago that we can't fathom what we were.
Well, yeah, and if the entire world got flooded, you lost everything.
There goes everything. Would a flood really hurt the Great Pyramids?
Not really. It didn't, obviously.
See, yeah.
Also, the Sphinx.
What's always gone through? I love the Sphinx stuff too, where it was recarved.
Oh yeah.
What goes through my head is,
Mass Effect.
yeah. It's like
That's why I love that story. It's just like, yeah, their version of it is these giant, crazy sentient machines come and wipe everything out every 50,000 years.
yeah, we just wipe ourselves out one way or another.
It's either nukes or it's asteroids.
Well, the other thing I was thinking of is I like the idea. I love the idea of a meteor hitting Earth, but
I'm excited for that.
But what it would change on a daily basis, like if it was a big enough meteor, would it change daytime? Would we spin faster, or when it hit, did we spin slower, or did it knock us into like a day-to-day basis?
Yes.
Maybe daylight only lasts 3 hours because you spin so fast. Like, you know how much that would change evolution and shit?
I think the Earth did get bumped and get knocked a little off kilter.
Makes sense.
I can't remember why.
I don't know why.
There's true north and there's magnetic north, and they're not the same.
Well, the other thing I was thinking of is
why.
centrifugal force. So if we're talking about ice caps melting, all that water goes towards the center. And just like if you're spinning, if you put your arms out, you spin slower. If you pull your arms in, you spin faster.
Oh.
But I don't know does that affect when you're floating through space? I don't know.
There's a video. So the other homie, Graham Hancock, is one of the main guys in this field.
Main motherfucker.
And Randall Carlson is another one. He's just like a geologist. So he's the guy with like the whole asteroid impact, ice age flood theory.
Yeah.
But he has a video. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. And he's talking about ancient sacred geometry and how they used to create measurements and what they all relate to. And like the pyramid is like a representation of the measurements of the earth.
Yeah.
And like why we use the foot and how they started to measure that thing and the importance of 9, like 9's a huge deal. But he goes into all that, and he was starting to talk about like, I can't remember exactly what it was. I need to rewatch it. But like, we're so close to having an even 360 days in the year, but it's 365.
Yeah.
And I feel like he had a thing in there where he was talking about like the days are actually like 24 hours and a couple minutes long. And part of it, I think, had to do with the Earth got hit by an asteroid and it messed up the rotation. So it used to be 360 and now it's a little bit slower. Something like that.
I like it.
Something like that.
I mean, regardless, if you're adding that much
I'm gonna go watch that
mass
shit.
to a planet, I imagine it's going to affect it one way or another.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Science.
Like I said, Mass Effect, dude.
I'm going to have to ask Bill Nye. Pretty sure he's the standard of...
Bill.
All right. Fucking Jedi draft.
I feel like I had one other thing to bring up. I started reading Lord of the Rings. I said that. Oh, it's just Star Wars related. So segue. So my brother was in town. We were just going around, comic shop, card shop, Barnes & Noble. I bought a couple booster packs of Pokemon just to see what the hell.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping they would have singles. I was just going to buy a Haunter card, but I just got booster packs. And I pulled out the fucking set of keys, Clef Key, holographic. I think it's actually a rare card. But I was like, of course I would get Clef Key, the Pokemon that I've complained about the most with the stupid new generation.
Terrible.
Oh, I hated it. And I got like a Growlithe and a Chansey and some other cool things. But we're looking at books, and then we were just going through like sci-fi stuff, and I pulled out the new cover of Darth Bane, Path of Destruction, and I was like, "Hey, dude, if you're looking for a new book, you better check this shit out."
Yeah.
He picked it up.
Nice.
Proud brother moment.
Now his training begins.
His training begins. He's
Dude.
going down the ancient Sith rituals.
To be honest, I'd love to reread that trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't even 100% remember what happens. I mean, the first one is like him becoming a Sith. He finds Zendaya or whatever the fuck her name is at the end of the first one.
MJ
Because he does that thought bomb. I forgot about that.
blows up the Sith. Yeah.
He blows up everybody. He lures the Jedi there,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He kills the Dark Brotherhood and all the Jedi. He's like, just everybody meet here.
Fuck each other. Be done.
Speaking of fucking each other.
Jedi draft.
Jedi draft.
Oh, man.
No, that's cool. I'm excited to hear. Can he read?
He can. I taught him how to read. So
Words.
yeah, he goes in and out of Star Wars. He's definitely an anime kid. So he's into that more than anything else. But
Let's see if it holds up.
he goes in and out. So I was like, this isn't connected to any of the movies. It's obviously in the universe, but it's totally separate. So enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'll report back.
Nice. All right. Jedi draft. No rules as long as they were a Jedi.
No holds barred.
I'm just going to throw this out there just as an example.
We can't
And
fist fight.
you can choose this if you want. For example, like Jedi Darth or Revan. Jedi Revan, you could choose him if you wanted
I
to.
was definitely
So
going
there's
to.
no rules. It could be legends. It could be whatever.
All right. I'll get a notepad going here, and I'm gonna keep my list.
Are you okay?
I'm not.
I'm not. Never been.
I'm not. I had coffee.
All right. Do you want to go first?
I don't care. I went first last time, and I stole Haunter. So, I mean, I didn't steal him. I just claimed him. So, you can go first.
5's hard to do, honestly. I'm already struggling. I only wrote 2 names down.
That's why I said 3, but we could do 5. I don't care.
I like 5 better.
Just gonna get a little sloppy with the choices.
Yeah, fuck. It's always hard choosing the first one. I'm just gonna swing hard. I'm gonna go with Mace Windu.
Oh, interesting. I thought you were gonna go with Kenobi first.
Who?
I don't know. Mace Windu. Okay, yeah, I can dig it. He's cool. I'm going Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Okay. Of course. I didn't even put him on mine because I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh, dirt. You could have gone first. You could have picked him.
Yeah, but
He's my favorite.
I
so,
wanted Mace over Qui-Gon.
I can understand that.
A
even though
large
it's wrong.
part because, obviously Mace is stronger, but the same way
I want to pick Mace and Palpatine and Yoda,
yeah,
Darth Vader.
the same
Darth
way
Bane.
Qui-Gon was questioning the Jedi. I think Mace knew as well. He's just like stuck in this position of power.
He's just in the number 2. He's like the COO, so he's just gotta like keep his mouth shut
yeah,
sometimes.
kind of. Yeah, yeah.
If Yoda's around, he needs to keep it calm. But when he's not, he's like, I'm gonna
Dude.
kill the Chancellor.
Fuck Yoda.
I'll pick him 5th if I have to.
How
about that?
God, there's the classic names out there. I'm already struggling at number 2.
Who are you, dude? We're prequels boys. What are
I'm
you
gonna
talking
go.
about? Don't.
I'm gonna go Plo Koon.
Interesting.
I like Plo a
He's
lot.
cool. Yeah, he's got that mask.
He's the second best pilot of all time, next to.
I am shocked you haven't picked Anakin or Kenobi as your first 2.
Well, there you are. If you want them.
I'm bewildered by it, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Anakin better as like a Sith. I don't know if I'm going to pick Anakin.
See what happens. Fuck around. Find out. Luke is your definitely number 2. Locked in.
I'm going to... it's a tough one. I'm going to pick old Luke Skywalker.
Okay. Understandable.
And I guess I'm just going to pick Luke. And I know I've talked shit about Luke, and I will continue to do so. In my mind, I'm picking Luke Skywalker from Last Jedi.
Okay.
But I guess I'll just write down Luke Skywalker from all eras.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, he was not in my top 24, so he's 25th.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go with Ahsoka.
I'm
See what happens. You wait.
scared to pick some of these because I feel like, why haven't you picked them yet? Ahsoka's cool. I'm gonna go with Kenobi.
Okay.
I gave you a chance with 2. I was gonna let you pick Kenobi, and you passed. So
God, I hate this one, but I can't let him drop any further. Yoda.
Oh,
I have to take Yoda.
What is this list you've assembled?
Mace, Plo, Ahsoka, and Yoda? You ain't even coming close, bro. You have Luke.
We're just gonna go into hiding. We're gonna think about stuff, and you're never gonna see us.
It's the plan
The
all
living
along.
forest, dude.
But remember,
The living
for
forest.
850 years before that, he was the badass.
Sure.
It was just the last 50 years he was taking naps.
Well, we don't know if he's badass.
That's
We're
true.
assuming.
Yeah, he was. He might have been.
You don't know I did. You assume I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna say Revan.
Okay, light side Revan.
Yeah, that was actually. I know you don't get any of that in the game except for stories, but when I was obsessed with that chronology book and I read it every day, that was one of my favorite parts. Is him saying, "You guys, we're about to die. We need to do something. You all suck. We're gonna go fight. Bye." So yeah, can't pass up on Revan, dude.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end with
Rey Skywalker.
no. You're way off.
Ben Solo.
Yaddle. No.
Oh, that's funny.
You know what? I'm gonna throw this one out there as kind of a, oh. You know what one you're skipping that I'll hand feed you?
You
If
can-
you
take
want
it.
if you want
No, you
like
can take it. Don't give me any options. You just ruthless. Just take it.
but I don't want it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Fuck. I did kind of paint myself into a corner here, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Shakti.
Okay. I can dig it.
The one that I was hand feeding you was Jedi Master Dooku. If you wanted to take him,
Yeah, but that book left a bad taste in my mouth.
yeah, same.
So I almost don't want to pick him or Sifo Dyas.
Yeah, Quinlan Voss is also pretty badass. I was honestly considering Bastila, but I couldn't listen to her talk. So
No, she should be quiet.
but her battle meditation,
Pretty cool.
pretty fucking untouchable.
Yeah. There's a lot of good options.
Kit Fisto still out there.
That's who I was going to put at 5. You also have Cal from Fallen Order.
That's a fun one. You want to do Cal?
No. I'm just naming possible Jedi options.
You could go.
Din Djarin. I was trying to think of other
Grogu?
Jedi in hiding besides Ahsoka. Well, Grogu's a Mandalorian,
Kiadi Mundi.
so that doesn't count. Yeah, it was kind of between him and Kit Fisto, to be honest. I was thinking of like the High Council from the prequels.
It's weird. I've never really liked Kiadi Mundi. And I think a part of it was in the Battlefront 2 game, his attacks sucked.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
And it's just
Because
like,
he would like swing from side to side. It was so hard to
and
aim.
then his button mashing one was him flipping over
Yeah.
end. And you're like, what the fuck is even happening? Yeah.
Dude, I should pick Coleman Trevor, R.I.P.
That's fine. I wasted my last one on Shock T, so you can use.
You know, I'm
Ayla.
Ayla Shakira. Oh man, she is fine. I'm gonna go with Kit Fisto.
Yeah, he's really cool in the Clone Wars cartoon.
I had a lot of fun with the original Clone Wars and with the updated Clone Wars. That whole underwater episode on Mount Cal. So what I got? Qui-Gon Jinn, old Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Revan, and Kit Fisto. I'm cool with that. I like it.
I ended with Mace, Plo, Ahsoka, Yoda, and Shock T.
I almost threw Anakin in there at the very end.
Oh, you didn't even choose Anakin.
It was very close. I almost did instead of Kit.
I probably should have went with.
We spend more time with him as a Darksider, so
It's true.
fuck it.
He was also the greatest Jedi of all time, but
And the greatest Sith of all time, kind of. What do you mean he was the greatest Jedi of all time?
name one better.
But is
I
that like,
dare you to
is it
name
like
one
a
better.
known thing? Because
He was the chosen one
well, yeah, but he kind of fucked everything up.
because he wanted to, because he was that great.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not
Whatever you
wrong.
say, dude. I mean, people would say that Luke's probably the best, greatest, whatever you want to say. I say Rey Skywalker.
Why?
because he's the original.
The greatest parts of Luke lie in Legends. The greatest part of Anakin lies in the prequels.
Yeah.
We see Anakin do every fucking thing.
Yeah,
Dude, Anakin takes out Dooku.
true. True.
You know what sucks is Obi-Wan did the most damage.
I was gonna say Obi-Wan's been there the whole time.
But I feel
That's
like
why I'm surprised you didn't pick him.
the only
You love Obi-Wan.
Believe me, I
thought that would have been the first on your list.
But it's like Obi or Mace. I'm like Mace. Plo was the fuck up. I probably could have put Obi in front of Plo, but I really like. First of all, non-human Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have like a staple there.
Who's the dude with the long neck?
Oh yeah,
Picked him. Adi Gallia could have been an option.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eth Koth.
Eth Koth, yeah. Classic. Who's the other guy that gets murdered by Palpatine? I can never remember his name. He's got like the horn things.
Yeah, the horn things. Stacey
Stacey Tin? Yeah.
Tin.
All right, draft over.
Who's the shithead with the pistol?
Mopar. Darth Mopar. You listeners and viewers should vote. Whose team would win in a battle?
In a battle? Let's talk about this.
You would probably win in a battle.
Yeah.
But if it was about
I have Mace and Yoda.
surviving,
Yoda is the best survivor of all time.
just because he's old, fuck him. If it was about surviving or strategizing, I think I would take it.
I don't know. Mace and
Qui-Gon
Ahsoka.
would just meditate you guys out of existence.
What?
He knows, dude.
See, that's the
He listens
crazy
to
thing.
The living force.
I don't know, but
We'd probably evenly match. I mean, I do have Revan.
Revan would do some damage. But do you think Revan? This is straight up
No.
Revan versus Mace. But you're talking about Jedi Revan. Remember, you're limited.
Yeah. I'm also like
I think Mace fucking owns him.
toe-to-toe duel versus like
Yeah.
not dying.
Again, Yoda.
I don't know how to phrase that right.
Yeah, survival.
Not
of the
necessarily going into hiding. But I'm
survival
saying
of the
like,
greenest.
Like Palpatine. Like he outwits everybody. He barely fights. And he still wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how Qui-Gon and Revan would be.
Do you want to trade?
No,
Hey?
I don't want to trade
No?
it.
Okay.
I would trade Kit Fisto for Shock T. But I wouldn't trade anyone else
I'll do that.
for anyone else. All right, cool. Okay, here's my card. Take my card.
All right, I got Kit instead of Shock T because I feel like Ahsoka and Shock T might be kind of similar.
Why? Because they're the same species. Got to keep it spread.
Is that what they do? What the fuck just happened?
I don't know what word I was looking for.
You know what's funny is I had
Keep it,
Obi-Wan and Anakin listed first, and I didn't pick either of those fucks.
I know. That shocked me.
Shock
That's
T.
like you-
No, Shock T.
Shock T. Shock T. Got it. That's like you saying, let's pick our favorite cars, and you don't pick any Mopar. I'm like, what are you doing? Mustangs and Corvettes.
Well, you know,
Ford F-150s.
Celicas.
Hummers. That would be surprising. All right, tell us whose list is better in the WhatsApp group. You look like you're thinking it over.
I'm
You
not.
look like you regret it.
I'm happy with 3 of them.
Why did you pick the other ones then?
I admit, I think I got a little too zesty over here. I should have picked Obi over Plo.
I was
But
shocked.
outside of that, I'm fine with the rest of them.
No, it's cool.
Bastila was kind of one I was considering. But again, if
you
she
had
has to open her
Bastila
mouth.
and I had Revan, they would just make out. Nothing would get done.
Boobs.
Boobies.
All right. So Mando episode 4.
Yeah, so what I almost put on my list was Keller and Beck.
Yeah.
Even though I've only seen him in one scene, I thought that was so cool. Such a awesome portrayal. Such a throwback to our man Ahmed Best. And he saves Grogu. So I was like, I almost put Keller and Beck on my list. It was that
I have
cool.
a really stupid question because I might have zoned out during the episode.
Yeah.
He saves Grogu, goes on to the Nubian. Where does he drop Grogu off?
We don't see that. Once he takes off, it
Okay.
cuts away.
Because in my head, I was writing down notes just from memory today, and I was like, where the fuck
Yeah.
does he take him? I forgot. So
Unless I don't think we see. I think he gets into hyperspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Once Grogu sees what hyperspace looks like, then it cuts back to like the forge and like the sparks and the hammer and stuff.
Well, so Keller and Beck, really cool. Dude, the dual
Awesome.
wielding and the different lightsaber colors. I forget what was it, blue and green?
Yeah,
I wasn't
like
even paying attention to that
Anakin
one.
episode 2 style.
Fucking savage.
Very cool.
And
Great
his fighting
choreography,
style,
too.
his fighting style was really fun.
Yeah.
Flies the Nubian.
Yeah, I wonder who left that for him. Or is he Nubian? Because
Wait a
when I
second.
saw the Nubian, the first thing I thought was like, well, Order 66 is happening. Padme's not there.
Yeah.
Or maybe she is. Did like she have a plan and leave a ship? Or is he with one of her handmaidens?
No, because
or-
she takes the Nubian to Mustafar. Is that the same ship?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
There's multiple.
That's the exact Nubian, though, right? That's the exact ship.
Shinobi.
Model-wise, at least.
Shinobi. Help us.
Because that's the silver one that potentially, because that's the one that blows up the very beginning of 2.
No.
Is that the different Nubian? Because they're the.
Yeah, that one looks like a stealth bomber. It's got the big long.
Oh,
wide
that's
wings.
right. Yep. But
But you could be. I just assume if Padme's rich, she used to
She's
be the
got
queen.
Nubians
She's probably
everywhere.
got like 4 of them.
Yeah.
just chilling.
She's got
different
part-
purposes.
Yep.
All of her handmaidens probably need one to be undercover.
Yep.
So that was my first thought. Is like he must be working with one of the handmaidens or something.
Yeah. I also thought it was really cool seeing the Nubian security guards firing on the clones.
Yeah.
Like they knew right away. They're like, nope,
This is not right.
This is
right.
fucked.
Not right. That was a fun scene. I mean, it was
The
dark and dangerous.
the only fun.
But it was like
what you were saying?
I just meant it wasn't fun per se, but it was fun to see it finally.
No, it was. I was arguing that was the only fun scene in the episode. We got back to, hey, it's a great idea that we haven't done yet. Let's have a kidnapping, but with a fucking pterodactyl.
Yeah.
You're like, dude,
Don't
this
make
is
any
what
noise.
we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we left last episode
Kind of on a
assuming
high,
that
man.
we would get right into who from the Empire is attacking Bo-Katan. What are we doing?
Completely the opposite way.
And I'm not even mad at the story thread of the Mandalorians being a little splintered and they need something to pull them together. I'm cool with that. I don't like the structure of a fully self-contained episode.
Yeah.
I much prefer the structure of Andor, where something plays out over the course of 2 or 3 or 4 episodes.
So I've got what we've been trying to describe with our words that we have been unable to so far. And it came from the 2 writers of South Park, and they were doing a lecture. I found a video of this.
They're the best.
They were talking about in a story, things happen, but the linking word, it's like this happens, then this happens. They said
Right.
that's bad. Because then it's just a link of events.
Right.
This happens, therefore
Right.
this happens. So there's consequences. There's a
Right.
string. This
Right.
happens, but this happens. And that literally unlocked something in my head. I was like, man, that's what we've been trying to describe in Mando and in Boba Fett. Like this
Yeah.
happens, and then the next episode is, and then this happens, and then you're like, well, yeah. And then this happened, but there's no carry through. This happens, but
Right.
this happens, therefore.
Right.
But I just, when I watched that short little video, I think it might have even been on TikTok, I was like, dude, that's it.
Yeah.
It comes down to simple story writing, and I think what they're putting on screen is solid, but the story tethering, pulling us through is not there. And like you said, the self-sustaining episodes, that doesn't, I don't give a shit. I really don't. You want to make sure I don't rewatch a fucking episode? Make it like what they're doing. Because
Yeah.
I watch
5
episodes
minutes of Jurassic Park.
to see how things affect the next episode. I could take this episode and throw it out,
Right.
and probably nothing would change.
Right.
Go ahead. I had to go on a rant there. And everybody knows we fucking rant on, but
The
we
rants
try
are
not
good,
to, man.
and that's the thing. It's it's not a bad show. It might just be a taste and a style thing for me. It's I don't like when the thing starts, there's a conflict, they resolve it, end credits.
Yes.
That's like a 90s sitcom or something. And I just don't like that style. Breaking Bad, you'd have an arc over 4 or 5 episodes in length. And of course, Andor is the obvious one to compare it to. It's just that was specifically structured, and they premiered with 3 episodes. It's this plays out over time because it's important and you can't wrap it up in 20 minutes. So, like I said, the fact that the fact that the Mandos have kids and their kids are part of the covert, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Paz Vizsla has
The
a little
training, Grogu's training.
kid. Yeah.
We knew he was
paintball
going to go
match.
fucking ballistic once he figured out, I can jump.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, well, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was fine. Even like the little pterodactyl capture thing, like whatever. Like, what the fuck are you on this planet, first of all? Like, just go on an asteroid or something. You don't have to worry about getting mauled by alligators.
You know what's ridiculous? My question is Mandalore that bad? You are living in a
they thought
desert.
it was, but now they know it's not. All they have to do is deal with those fucking
You literally don't have to deal
little
with
zombie
them.
guys.
Oh, yeah. My point was, why keep fucking training on desert land of the lost planet?
Yeah.
Just fucking fly, bro.
Dude, they have jetpacks.
I really became fully disconnected when that pterodactyl grabbed that kid. I was like, I'm over it. I'm done.
I know. Yeah, it's so parodying.
I want to like this shit.
I know.
I want to. I'm
know.
giving it so many opportunities, so many chances.
Giving it a lot of credit.
And they keep fucking just.
I think they're doing it. I mean, I think that's the style they're going for. So we just disagree with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, going off of what you were saying, it feels like they are shit, what's the word I'm looking for? Creating something that's fake.
Fucking with us.
Sure. Fuckerous. No, it's like not artificial, it's they're fabricating events.
Yes.
Just to happen so something can happen. And that's what you were trying to say. It's like
we need a conflict for episode
Bo-Katan's
3.
castle gets blown up. Therefore, they have to figure out who did it, and then all the Mandos have a reason to bind together and like figure out a mission.
Perfect example.
Not the episode starts, everything's cool, Bo-Katan's part of the covert, Grogu's training, and all of a sudden there's a pterodactyl attack. Like,
that's what I just said.
That's the easiest way for me.
It sounds like, oh shit, episode 4, we need a conflict. Fucking pterodactyl.
What could be cool? Go grab the Art of book and find something that wasn't used in another movie and throw it in there. So, I mean, yeah, they had a reason to go on a mission together. They respected Bo-Katan. She's leading the party. You know, they did some rock climbing stuff.
The other seed planting they did, which really, really pisses me off, is they are doubling down on this fucking beast riding stuff. Hey, guess what? We not only saved the motherfucker from the mom pterodactyl, we stole 3 of her babies, bitch. Now we're gonna ride them into battle. I'm like, guys, you have jetpacks.
Stole 3 of them. I looked at it more as like they had to kill the thing because it took one of theirs, but they didn't want to leave the babies helpless.
See, that's a great way to look at it. Because in my head, I thought, oh, we need beasts to
More
ride.
things to ride.
So let's
We need
have the
rancors
mama.
and birds and shit.
I swear to God, if I see a fucking Triceratops next episode.
They have starships.
Mando was
Mando
was attacked by
the mythosaur. Like, yeah, I get it, but you have starships with guns and hyperspace, hyperspeed, hyperdrive. Like, you can just shoot stuff and then refuel it. You don't have to like tame it.
It is a
Rancor
very
different, I guess, but whatever.
It is a very, very opposing theme from what Star Wars has literally started as.
Yeah.
Episode 4, the first thing we ever saw, spaceships, bigger spaceships, and a fucking planet that's a fucking spaceship in space.
Yeah.
With laser blasts. And guess what it does? Shoots a little big motherfucker laser blast. A little big motherfucker. And now we're talking about, which, can this stuff exist in the Star Wars universe? Of fucking course. That's the great thing about it.
Fuck them.
I don't know, outside of like the story building and the episode building, I don't know what about it bothers me the most.
It's just
Like the beasts, it's
video game structure.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I don't want to bitch about it
I know,
anymore.
I know,
I hate doing it. You guys don't want to hear us bitch.
It's the same. Like I said, that's why I don't think it's like, hey, they really botched this. It's like they deliberately did that. That's the style they're going for. It's been that way since the first episode.
I know.
So it's just like when there's a bit of a high and there's brand new stuff happening and we're meeting Grogu and it's all new, that's fine. But when it feels like we're just kind of artificially going through a plot just so they can bond, then it gets annoying. But yeah, I mean, I feel a little bad. Like, I didn't hate it the way I hated the second episode.
Yeah.
And the whole Grogu Order 66 thing was great.
So how do you feel about their use of flashbacks now? Because that was
I really, really liked the way that this one came on screen. The fact that Grogu is talking to the arm. Well, he's not talking, but he's having a moment with the armorer, and she starts smashing something into shape, and then like the violence of it was kind of like triggering something. Like his
what
little
did she
PTSD.
make him? Just a fucking medallion?
Well, I thought it was going to be a shield.
I
at
thought so
first.
too.
And then she put it on his chest, and I was like, "That's not chest shaped."
Yeah. What the fuck?
I saw someone on subreddit say they thought it was going to be a yarmulke. It's like, yeah, that would have been better
Just
than an awkward, whatever. It's fine.
it's not though. That's the bad thing. It's not fine, dude. It's terrible.
I don't know why it was a circle. It's not like his body is that different from
the use of flashbacks. I think it made sense in the story in the episode, where she's forging whether it's armor or a weapon. Like that takes him back, and he's like, "Dude, last time I saw weapons and shit and war, it was this."
Yep.
And that's the thing that he's had to overcome, which it seems like a
recurring trauma.
yeah. Well, it's like you're advancing as a Mandalorian. You've got to overcome your own hurdles, and that was a huge historical hurdle for him.
And I think the flashback especially works for Grogu because he can't talk to us, so it's not like he can
Does
work
it
out
bother
his
you?
feelings with. It doesn't. Honestly, that's one of the greatest decisions, because early on I was worried. It was like, oh great, by season 2 he's going to be talking, but he advances extremely slowly because he's already 50. That's his species, and they've stuck with that. So the fact that he can't talk yet, but you can see him understanding more of what Din's saying, is good. That's a great choice.
I'm on the fence with it still. Story-wise, I actually don't like it because I do want to see him advance, and I feel like we're in the 3rd season, and he's learned to jump so far.
He can push.
Yeah, we learned that in the 2nd episode.
And heal.
So since the
paintball.
2nd episode where he fucked the
He's got to
mudhorn,
hover around.
where he fucked the mudhorn,
Yeah.
he really hasn't done much of it. He
Dude,
healed.
it's been like a year.
I know. I don't know. I like to see advancement of anybody.
Actually, I don't know how long it's been. I saw a video. It could have been totally bullshit, some stupid clickbait thing, but that he was training with Luke for 2 years. Like the gap during Book of Boba Fett.
think
Like
it
he
makes
might have been
sense.
there for like a year and a half, 2 years.
But that's the other thing. He trained with Luke regardless of the time. Let's say it's fucking 3 months. He should have learned to.
I think he's just a little nervous. He don't want to use all of his
I'm
power.
not mad at it. Like I said, I'm still on the fence with it. I think in certain aspects, I'm glad the fucker doesn't talk. And
Be
then,
nice, dude.
And then in other, I don't know. The story writing has ruined the rest of it for me. Like, I do want to enjoy this. And then when they put Grogu on screen, sometimes I feel like, well, what are they going to try to fucking pull now? That's
Paintball.
what's in the back of my head now. Every time Grogu enters a battle, I'm like, okay, what stupid shit are they going to force in front of me because
He's got to learn a lesson.
he's got, yeah. But it's weird because, I don't know.
Whatever.
A witch hunter saying, but Kylo kills him. I swear to God, if Kylo kills Grogu, not only will that be the saddest moment of Star Wars history, it'd be the most badass moment in Star Wars history.
That's exactly something that Ben Solo would do because he thinks he's too far gone and he wants to make Snoke happy.
He has to prove it to himself, so he has to go that far. I gotta kill Grogu, and then my dad's next. I'm gonna go kill him, and then you're not even proving it to anybody else. Like, you're already the leader of the Death Squad.
Yeah.
Actually, that the Death Squad's
of
an
Ren.
actual thing. I meant.
Knights of Ren. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out. That's a murky one. I wish that comic series lasted longer. I'm cool with Grogu.
Another kidnapping. Did you know this was directed by Carl Weathers?
I did indeed. It's pretty good.
Don't let him do that again.
No, it wasn't his
I'm
fault,
kidding.
dude.
No,
He
honestly,
did great.
That's the one.
If that was the material he was handed, he didn't write the shit, so he did wonderful.
That's the one thing that has been carried through this entire series. Put the storyline aside, everything. It has looked fun. It has been like really fun, and I think that's one of the things that stood out, even on that like weird village episode, like the aesthetic, the dark, the battle at night. Like, it was cool to watch.
Yeah. It definitely feels like Star Wars. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It feels like the same thing when we would, watch the original movies and like yo, man, why would they put that stupid fucking song in Jabba's palace? It's so dumb. But then when you think back on it, you're thinking of Endor and the throne room scene. Like, you're thinking of all the good stuff. So it's got enough bad things to make it feel like Star Wars. And it's goofy enough, and, you know, they're jumping around enough. I think it still feels right.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that, like, Andor, it didn't feel like how Star Wars was, but now that it's happened, that's what I want Star Wars to feel like.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
It set the bar, man, and it maybe that's the biggest hurdle for me, is we watched that, and then we had the third episode where I was like, oh, shit. They flipped the switch.
Right,
We're
like,
going into serious stuff, and then we took a hard step back. We're like, wait,
yeah, that's, again, I feel like I'm rehashing, but, like,
how many kidnapping fucking
get
episodes?
You open up a potential plot point, and then you go a whole episode with, like, pretending that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, at least cut back and forth. Like, you can save the guy from the fucking bird.
Yeah.
But cut us, like, the flashback was cool, and then give me another scene where we cut away and we're meeting some fucking Imperial officer, and they're on the ship, and they're trying to plan out their next move. Something like that. You got to keep that thread going throughout. What am I talking to Jon Favreau like he's goddamn watching our show? You know what you're doing. I'm just talking.
Disney's supposed to lay off 9,000 people. I'm kind of getting to the point where...
What?
Favreau might be on there.
No, dude. People love it. So don't only did I feel like a dick because this episode got pretty good reviews and I was shitting on most of it. Then I saw a post about, like, why are people hating on Pelly? And then all the comments were like, fuck those people. Pelly's awesome. And here we were last episode like, I hate Pelly. She needs to never be in Star Wars ever again.
Yeah, I know we're the shitheads here. And if I was 10 and watching Mando as like my first introduction to Star Wars,
You'd be chuckling.
it'd probably be pretty fun.
Yeah, you'd be chuckling.
Yeah.
It ain't for us.
So my cliff notes here was Keller and Beck, dual wielding, flies the Nubian, Grogu training, another kidnapping, Carl Weathers directed.
Mm-hmm.
They are doubling down on the beast riding.
Homie's name is Ragnar.
And your thoughts on flashbacks. So I think we hit them all. So
I was a little disturbed when the bird landed and regurgitated the kid. Did you notice that?
yeah.
I was like, oh, they're going to catch it in the middle of a feeding. And then the kid popped out of its mouth. I was like, oh, that's so fucking graphic. It wasn't any blood or anything. It was just like, I don't know. Maybe,
you know what's funny?
It made me very uneasy.
Is the kid probably could have lived. I mean, he's got full armor on. So even if he was regurgitated and
Not
fed
full armor.
to the babies.
And it's not real Beskar yet. He's just a little kitty.
Yeah. I don't know. He could have pulled a
Not everyone
Agent-
has full
Agent
true
K.
Beskar. Yeah.
blast his way from the inside.
What is this gun called? The cricket?
Noisy cricket.
Yeah. I love Men in Black, dude. All right. Well, it was fine. Whatever. It's cool. Ranking of the episodes for me is 3. What?
You're right. Just leave it there. 3.
It would be.
You can't do it. You can't fucking do it.
1, 2, and 4 are even, and 3 is above them. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to rank them, and I was like 2, but it's all boring, and 4, but then this happens, and then 1.
One's a
but it's
waste of
setup.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3.
Nothing's happened yet.
I rank them 3.
We're 4 episodes in. What have we learned? So the most we've learned is,
Mandalore's cool. You can go.
and the scientist had a mind wipe, which is like the most
And the Imperials blew up Bo-Katan's
yeah. Those are the
house.
kind of the 3 things.
Bo-Katan, one thing we didn't mention, she got a new little shoulder piece. And she asked for
she's
the
half and
Mythosaur.
half. She's half and half.
So she's making her way to the cult.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yep.
Does
It's making me think possibly my theory about Din being the main unifier might not be true.
she might be.
She might come back.
Boba Fett's going to test that.
Oh, dude, I really want him to show up.
Isn't it weird that the Mandalorians are supposed to be a split cult, like to the core, and we're 4 episodes in, and they're all laughing and training together, and you're like,
Well, 3 seasons in.
true.
Plus
that's my
all
point.
of the
but
Rebels
that's my
and
point.
Clone Wars stuff.
That's my point. We've gotten so far. We're sure Boba and the number 2 to Boca like talk shit to each other in one scene.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, they've all helped each other. There's a bunch of honor going around. They're training now.
Just this last episode, you dangus, they were talking shit.
In Boba Fett?
No, in season 2 and in this one. And the armor's like, you can't use that dark saber, you bitch. You're not a Mandalorian, you bitch. Go take a bath, dude.
How does Moff Gideon get the dark saber?
I don't think we know. He just has it at the end of season 1.
Yeah. That's a story.
Oh, but does he explain it? I feel like he goes on like a little monologue when they're on his ship in season 2. I can't remember. I feel like I do want to watch parts of season 2
because that would have been like
myself a little watch list and just be like, I'm gonna rewatch these particular specific episodes.
That would have been a fun story line to. I mean, I know it's still there and I know it's still relevant, but they have not focused on it at all since, which is weird. Boba Fett was the last time because he could barely fucking swing it in Boba Fett.
Well, he used it in episode 2.
Yeah.
And
But
he was still struggling, but then Bo-Katan picked it up and she was like, "Fuck you guys." Just
Is
going
it like
on a little
Thor's
rampage.
hammer where it chooses its suitor?
Something like that, yeah.
Where it kind of got lost in translation. It doesn't mean
I think so.
I beat you. It's mine now. It has to be like, no, this is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I have no problem with that.
Do you want to hear about Acolyte?
Yeah, let's babble about it a little bit here at the end.
So I copied and pasted a quick paragraph here. I'll read through it. It's actually only a handful of sentences here. The Acolyte, which is Leslie Headland's venture into a galaxy far, far away, is shaping up to be one of the franchise's most impressive and ambitious series to date. Set during the final days of the High Republic era, the series is described as a mystery thriller
I don't believe anything
that will
they say.
take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets.
Mm-hmm.
While the story seems to center around a former Padawan who reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, the series boasts a robust ensemble cast made up of some of the best and bright stars of this generation, including blah, blah, blah. So the other one that stood out to me was this little side. The Acolyte will explain how the Sith infiltrated the Jedi. So we're talking.
That's what it would be about.
So we're talking 100 years before Phantom Menace is where I've read that. I thought that was in there, but so we're talking 100 years before Phantom Menace. Does this mean?
Yes.
Does this mean
Yes.
that we're setting up the Phantom Menace, or is this the Sith infiltrate the Jedi 100 years ago and they're wiped out? And I know from the Jedi's point of view, they say they have been around for 1,000 years.
Right.
I guess my question is, one of two things happens, is they infiltrate and stay infiltrated
Yeah, until Palpatine.
until Palpatine.
Yeah.
Or two, I guess it's of the same story. If they do infiltrate and people know about them, everybody that knows about them is killed.
Mm-hmm.
So now, let's just call him fucking Bob Doodad. Bob Doodad is a Sith.
Darth Bob Doodad, please.
Walks in, people start figuring out he's a Sith, but he takes them out into battle as Jedi do.
Right.
And oh no, Bismarcky didn't come back with us.
Darth Bismarck.
No, that would be Jedi Master Bismarcky.
sorry.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody that starts figuring it out
Right.
accidentally dies in battle at the hands of Bob.
Or they just.
Or maybe they fuck with their...
We need to have some rule of 2 explanation happening in this show, I feel.
See, that's the other huge explosion of opportunity.
Darth Bane.
No, shut up. We're only 100 years.
I know, but
Tenebris.
they can completely change the timeline.
Plagueis is canon, isn't he?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like instead of KOTOR being 4,000 years ago and Bane is 1,000, they could shuffle that and be like KOTOR was like 1,000 years ago and Darth Bane was like 200.
Yeah, but this is 100 years ago.
I'm just saying
We're already- I
they
know.
can change whatever they want. which
It's
they
not going to
always
be
do.
Darth Bane.
But because I was thinking if the rule of 2 is firm, then that means there's a master, and then his apprentice is infiltrated as a Jedi Knight. But then what happens when they need to take over one another? Is he having dark dealings on the side, and then he kills him, and then he like fucking turns one of the other Jedi apprentices?
Yeah.
A lot of potential there.
Maybe Plagueis impregnates Yaddle.
That's what I've been hoping for this whole
That's
time.
what I've been hoping for.
I've been waiting since '99 for that shit. No, we could get some Plagueis action. Munes live for a long time, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like a couple hundred years. So
yeah.
But he's going to be the master. I want to know who, because I don't think.
Or maybe he's the apprentice because it's long enough ago.
Yeah.
100 years before then.
I mean, how old is Palpy in episode 1? Like 40?
I would guess like 40.
45 maybe?
Let's find out.
100 years is not that long, especially when you're talking about alien species. I know he's a human, but
Yeah, but
also,
like,
how long is the series going to span? Will it span 50 years? Will we see him pick up Palpatine? See, this is shit that
he's
I would.
born 82 BBY.
Oh, shit.
So that is.
So he's like 50.
Yeah.
He's 50 in episode 1. So he could literally, depending on how long this series spans, we could see Plagueis do some shit and then find Palpatine.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest scenes in any Star Wars media I've ever come across, was in a Palpatine book.
Plagueis.
I'm sorry, yes. Plagueis book, which, let's get real, it was a Palpatine book. Because after like the first 2 chapters, it's Palpatine from there on out.
Right.
But when Palpatine murders his fucking family on that spaceship, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, if they're talking about Star Wars Darth Acolyte, dark bullshit, that's kind of what we need.
Is Palpy the Acolyte?
It'd be great if it wasn't. Like,
I know.
on one
I
hand,
completely
it'd be
agree.
cool, but on the other hand, it'd be. I'm just curious to see how they're going to weave in Darth Bane into canon. Obviously, we're not going to see.
Where do you hear that Darth Bane's going to be weaved into canon?
Well,
Why?
Wolf 2 still canon. He's just sitting there waiting to be used somehow. I don't think Darth Bane's going to be in the show.
I don't think they'll ever use either of them.
Well, he's already been in the Clone Wars as like an ancient Sith spirit.
That's true.
I'm not
But I
saying
thought that was
we're
a
gonna-
deleted scene. No, he does say Darth
No,
Bane.
He's talking to Yoda. We're not going to see him. I'm just saying, like, if he establishes the rule of 2, we're only like a couple generations after that. So they should be following his rule. Maybe talking about him a little bit. Remember Darth Bane, the
Well,
crazy bald guy?
Witch Hunter's saying, and that's the main reason why Palpy kills Plagueis. So maybe we talk about the rule of 2. It gets played out. Plagueis takes the reins, starts training, and then he's like, well, I have to kill you because rule 2, I found this.
Right.
I know I've seen visions of this fucking demon coming from the sand planets.
Do they talk about in that book, like, Palpatine kind of going against the rule of 2? Because he obviously, like, is kind of...
Well,
he's really bending the rules a little bit.
He finds Maul, but never trains him like a Sith. Like, he trains him in battle, and he like allows him to use Force, but he doesn't train. Like, there's no big picture with Maul.
Oh, really? So
Like, he finds him, and he's like, "Oh, this kid could be useful."
He lets him use like lightsabers.
Yeah, and he tells him all the ideas, but he doesn't let him in.
So
he's like,
Dooku's been there the whole time as his number
but
2.
Was Dooku truly a number 2?
Well, who else was?
Yeah, Anakin. Anakin was the only true number 2.
But he wasn't
I feel
even
like-
born by that point.
Yeah, but the idea that Dooku left to become a number 2 does not add up in my head. Dooku left because he didn't trust the Jedi.
Well, yeah, just kind of. So
He's like, you guys are wrong.
Worked into Palpatine's
I'm fucking
plan.
leaving. Yeah. And while, like you said, maybe it worked into Palpatine's plan, but I never thought, I don't know. Do you think Palpy really felt he could trust Dooku?
No, I was more so wondering before Anakin was even born, let alone a potential apprentice, who was Palpatine really thinking was his apprentice? That was my question.
I feel like he was vetting out the options. Like, he's like, okay, I got the small dude. Oh, fuck, cut in half. Now he's a spider. Let's move on.
I got to fight his bitch ass brother, dude.
Because like Grievous
what are
was
you doing, Filoni?
Grievous was never a true anything. I mean, he was even under Dooku. Dooku was a fallen Jedi, but you're like, okay, you're strong as fuck, but you're a bit old, man. And
Dooku's also trying to use Palpatine a little bit. Let's be honest.
exactly.
That's why he's my favorite. All right. Well, I mean, I'm excited for it. Again, it's hard to really get super amped or predict or know too much. I'm kind of in the game with Star Wars where I'm just going to like, let's see what happens on release day.
Yeah. Think about this. In episode 3, at the very beginning, the moment Anakin became the number 2 was when he sliced Dooku's head off.
Yeah.
So literally, right then and there, he went from this number 2 to this number 2. He was still in the role 2.
Well, that's what I mean. He really skirts it because he's got
But that's kind of like how it needs. Like,
Maul and Dooku, and then Dooku has Asajj and also Grievous,
But
and he's
he-
also got Anakin.
but he only trusts the top one. Like all these.
from a certain point of view.
Well, there's only one reason you're number 2 under me, because you're the strongest of all the bitches under our empire.
Yeah, you just kill each other if you want to be number 2.
That's what he says. Maul tried to come back with his brother, and Sidious was like, "No, bitch, you fucked up."
I think it'll be really cool to get some High Republic era on screen. That's pretty cool. It's our very first High Republic media outside of the books and stuff. So I'm excited for that. And the fact that it's named Acolyte and it's got some Sith focus, that should be cool.
Sith infiltrating the Jedi I was sold. I was like, all right,
I'm in.
even if it's dumb, it's still going to hold some weight.
We shall see.
All right.
How long do we have to wait for Ahsoka to come out?
Has that not been canceled too?
Oh, actually, I was going to bring that up. They officially, the Kevin Feige, Star Wars, and the Rogue Squadron, done. I know it was kind of like slightly off the table, but now
Are you
it's-
serious?
What, they canceled a Star Wars project? Oh, also, hang on. Let's end with this real quick. Let me look up news
You
of
are triggered.
KOTOR remake. Because while my brother was here, I was talking about the Darth Bane book, and he asked me about the KOTOR remake, and I said, it's canceled. And he's like, I feel like I just heard about it. So I guess it's not officially canceled. It's just uncertain.
Well, with Bob retaking the reins, there seems like there's going to be some change in Disney. Which we never really talked about that either, but we don't know what to talk. I mean, it happened. We're still waiting to see what happens with Bob.
I like Bob. I'm cool with Bob. I read his book. He's a good guy. He's the one that forced him to buy Pixar. That was a good move.
Well, he's laying a bunch of people off right now, so
Well, sometimes you gotta.
yeah.
He saw Mandalorian. He was like, "Guys,
Everybody who
get the
had
fuck
their-
out of here. Bring Tony Gilroy back. I'll pay him double." All right,
Is Tony Gilroy the
Andor
guy?
writer and creator, yeah. And
Do you feel like this multiple director thing is fucking around again?
No, that's how shows. That's how TV shows are. You look
That's
Succession,
true.
Thrones,
Yeah, you're right.
They all have different directors. Like they'll
Mandor
use
was all different directors?
they'll use the same one, the same ones like throughout each season. But like episode 1 will be by one person, 2 will be by a different person, et cetera, et cetera. I'm fairly certain that Andor was written by and produced by Tony, but not directed by him. But let me find out for sure.
We've seen
Yeah, Toby Haynes, Benjamin Karen, Susanna White, Yanis Metz. They each directed 3. So,
we've seen some gameplay from Jedi Survivor.
oh yeah, the final trailer came out.
I still haven't even seen that. I just saw some like oddball gameplay stuff.
Oh, I didn't see the gameplay. I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it looks fun, man.
Looks cool. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, the some
Coruscant.
of the battle actions that you could do, I was like, dude,
Mhm.
like the same way Force Unleashed broke my mind of what you could do.
That was awesome.
Like
Yes.
that game doesn't really truly hold up, but like when it launched, you're like, dude,
Yeah.
well, look at all I can fucking do with the Force.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, a part of what I really liked about Jedi, what's that?
Jedi Knight, Outcast.
Outcast? I think it was Outcast. was the force powers of Kyle
My mind was
Katarn.
blown
Man.
when I saw you and DNR playing those games for the first time. I was like, what the fuck game? Where'd you get this
Oh
shit?
yeah, the force pull, push,
Yeah.
all that stuff was options, man.
Flipping
It was fun.
and slashing.
Flipping, slashing, lightning,
Yeah.
dude. There was a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, dude.
And if you time it right, so there's a lot of. I mean, it's a video game, but they're shooting like rockets at you. If you do force push at this right time, it shoots the rocket right back, and you're like, dude,
That's awesome.
are you fucking kidding me? Yes, like let's do this over and over.
They pushed that back, Jedi Survivor, but it's April 28th or something.
We're about a month away.
Yeah. So
Are you gonna get it right when it launches? Are you gonna?
that depends on my schedule.
Why
and
did you
how-
sound like?
That depends on my. I don't know how busy I'm going to be. Honestly, it really depends on all that. So I still am looking for like a solid weekend off where I can get that Hogwarts Legacy and just like go balls deep. I haven't been able to do that yet, so I'm not sure. I'll probably pre-order it and make sure it's like downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
Show my support to Bob Iger. But
Oh yeah.
all right, y'all. This has been an episode of a Star Wars podcast that you know and love. And
One of these days we'll have something good to say.
sorry, that was the wrong music. Let's try this. Oh yeah. All right, we love you. And if you disagree with our opinions on Mando,
You're probably
shout
right.
at us on the WhatsApp group, and you're probably correct.
You're probably right.
See you next week.
We're shitheads.